At 32 years old, my free testosterone is at the bottom of the range. My estradiol is at the top, and my SHBG is high. A lot of guys with these numbers walk into a TRT clinic and walk out with a script. I'm doing the exact opposite because there are 5 upstream causes of low testosterone that almost no doctor checks before they prescribe. 5 reasons your testosterone might be low that have nothing to do with your production. Today, I'm going to walk you through what they are, why they matter, and how to know if any of them apply to you. So here's what this video covers. First, what most TRT clinics actually check and what they don't. The standard of care has a gap and you should know what it is. Second, 5 upstream causes that suppress your testosterone. Each one is well documented, each one is reversible and addressable within months, and each one is checkable. And third, the investigation framework. The labs to run, the lifestyle inventory to do, so you know what to address before or alongside any decision about TRT. Quick context, I'm not a doctor. I'm a functional nutrition coach who's spent years studying hormone optimization. So here's my actual numbers. Total testosterone 537, which is mid-range. Most doctors looking at this number would tell me everything's fine. Free testosterone at 13.2, that's the form your body can actually use. That's in the bottom third of the range. SHBG, the protein that binds my testosterone and makes it unavailable, is at the top of the range. Estradiol is in the upper third of the male range. So this is the picture. My T looks normal on paper, but the form my body can actually use is bottom third, and I'm converting too much of it into estrogen. The system is dysregulated even though the headline numbers look fine. Here's the problem with how most low testosterone evaluations work. A man walks into a TRT clinic, they check his total testosterone. If it's low, they prescribe TRT. They refill it quarterly. That's the workflow at thousands of clinics across the country. And to be fair, for some men, that's the right call. If you have primary testicular failure, or if you have severe hypogonadism, if you've already exhausted upstream investigation, TRT can be a real life-changing intervention, so I'm not anti-TRT. What I'm against is the workflow that skips everything between low T and prescription. Because here's the thing your body uses to make testosterone. Your brain sends a signal down to your testicles telling them how much to produce. They produce it, then your body either uses it, converts it to other hormones, or clears it out. Almost every link in that chain can be affected by something else in the body. By inflammation, by what you eat, by what you drink, by how you sleep, by the fat you carry. When any of those upstream inputs is broken, the signal coming down breaks down too. The number on your lab report drops. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means something upstream is. So let's go through the 5 biggest causes, the ones most clinics never check. Cause number 1, visceral fat, the fat that wraps around your organs. Here's what almost nobody teaches. Your body fat, specifically visceral fat, is full of an enzyme called aromatase. Aromatase converts testosterone into estrogen. So the more visceral fat you carry, the more of your own testosterone gets converted into estrogen. That estrogen tells your brain to slow down testosterone production because your body thinks it has enough hormone signal. More belly fat means lower testosterone and higher estrogen and lower signal to your testicles. It's a feedback loop. The researchers call it the hypogonadal obesity cycle. It's been documented since the 1990s. If your waist is over 40 inches, or your visceral fat on an in-body is above 5, or your triglycerides are elevated, this is on your list. Address the visceral fat and the testosterone often follows. Cause 2, the bacteria in your gut. 2 mechanisms here that are both important. 1, your gut bacteria control how much estrogen is circulating in your bloodstream. There's a specific enzyme that certain bacteria produce that recycles estrogen back into circulation instead of letting it clear out. When you have the wrong bacteria growing in your gut, that recycling goes into overdrive. And the result is too much estrogen circulating. Same suppressing feedback effect on testosterone that we just talked about. Number 2, your gut absorbs the nutrients your testicles need to make testosterone, specifically zinc and B12. When your gut is damaged, when you've got bacterial overgrowth, when your stomach acid is low, when there's inflammation, those nutrients don't absorb properly. Your testicles literally don't have the raw materials they need. 2 different mechanisms, estrogen recycling and nutrient absorption, both running through the same organ, both contributing to low testosterone. Here's some signs to investigate this: bloating, food sensitivities, irregular bowel movements, brain fog, history of antibiotic use. If any of that describes you, gut health is on your testosterone investigation list, and the test you need to run is a GI map. And cause number 3, alcohol. I drank heavily through my 20s like a lot of people, and part of why my hormones are recovering at all is because alcohol is now out of the picture. Here's what alcohol does to your testosterone. 3 things all at the same time. So number 1, it directly damages the cells in your testicles that produce testosterone. Acetaldehyde, the byproduct of alcohol, is toxic to those cells. 2, it disrupts the signaling from your brain to your testicles. Less signal equals less production. And number 3, it increases the same aromatase enzyme we just talked about. More testosterone gets converted into estrogen. The research shows that 50 to 75% of men with alcohol use disorder have testosterone in the hypogonadal range. But here's what's important. For moderate drinkers, the damage isn't permanent. 2 to 3 months of abstinence and most of the function comes back. If you drink, even moderately, this is on your list. And cause number 4 is sleep. This one's not subtle. The majority of your daily testosterone is produced while you sleep. Cut your sleep, you cut your production. There's a JAMA study from 2011 at the University of Chicago. They took healthy young men, average age 24, and restricted them to 5 hours of sleep for 1 week. Their testosterone dropped 10 to 15%. That's the equivalent of aging more than a decade in 1 week. If you're chronically sleeping less than 7 hours, if you snore, if you wake up tired, this is on your list, and get evaluated for sleep apnea. That's a major hidden cause that goes uncaught for years. And cause 5, micronutrient deficiencies, specifically zinc and vitamin D. Zinc is required for the enzymes that convert cholesterol into testosterone. Without enough zinc, the synthesis pathway can't run efficiently. Vitamin D acts like a hormone in your body. It has receptors directly on the cells that produce testosterone. Both are common deficiencies. About 30% of US adults are vitamin D insufficient. Zinc deficiency is widespread in plant-heavy diets and in older men. Both are easy to test and both are easy to fix. And some quick honorable mentions. Chronic stress and elevated cortisol direct testosterone suppression. Environmental toxins, endocrine disruptors like BPA and phthalates, common medications, statins, SSRIs, opioids, finasteride, some blood pressure meds, each one can suppress testosterone. Each one is worth checking against in your specific situation. So here's 3 layers to actually investigate these things. Layer 1, foundational labs. Everyone considering TRT should run these before signing up. Total testosterone, which is the standard, free testosterone, the form your body actually uses, sex hormone binding globulin, which is the binding protein, estradiol, specifically for men, LH and FSH. These tell you if the problem is your brain to testicle signal or if it's the testes themselves, plus a comprehensive metabolic panel. Layer 2, the upstream investigation labs. A GI map or comprehensive stool test for the gut piece, fasting insulin and hemoglobin A1C for the metabolic piece, zinc level and vitamin D level for the micronutrient piece, a sleep evaluation if there's any reason to suspect apnea, an in-body or DEXA scan to specifically measure visceral fat. And layer 3, lifestyle inventory. No labs required, just honest assessment. How much do you actually drink? How much do you actually sleep? How much stress are you carrying? How honest is your food? Most men know the answers, but most men don't write them down. The act of taking inventory is where the work begins. And here's where I want to be clear about something, because I don't want this video misunderstood. TRT is the right answer for some men. If you have primary testicular failure, if you've done the upstream work and your numbers won't move, if your symptoms are severe and the investigation timeline isn't realistic for your life, TRT is a legitimate medical intervention. And here's the other thing. The upstream work and the TRT aren't mutually exclusive. You can start TRT and address the gut, sleep, the weight, the alcohol at the same time. In fact, TRT often works better, requires lower doses, and produces fewer side effects when the foundation is right. So if you take one thing from this video, take this. Low testosterone is a symptom. It tells you something is wrong upstream. Before you commit to a lifelong therapy that treats the symptom, find out what's actually causing it. There's 5 common reasons. There's a clear investigation framework. The work is hard, but it's worth doing. If you want to start asking better questions about your own body and finally get to the root of your chronic health issues, make sure you subscribe. We're on a mission to help 1 million people get off symptom managing medication and finally heal the root cause. Click subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And if you're looking for additional support, potentially working with our functional practice, click the link in the description to schedule a free consultation. Gut first, everything else follows.